Looking to take your financial knowledge to the next level? You're in the right place. Welcome to Ask Ralph, offering accounting, technical, and financial advice. Whether you're looking to save taxes or improve your business, he's got you covered. Here's your host of Ask Ralph, Ralph Eastup Jr.
Welcome back to the Ask Ralph Show. Today we're joined by Brooke Beer. She's the inventor and owner of the horse holster. Hello, Brooke, and tell me about the horse holster.
Hi, Ralph. Hi, everybody. The horse holster was a product that I invented. I brought it to market the very end of 2015, but it was the idea that horseback riders could safely carry their cell phone, their ID, their truck key, any other small items while they were riding. It's more of a safety feature so that if something did happen and they got ejected from their horse, that they have their items attached to them, not their horse. So it was something that I thought of for my own need. I rode for years with a phone holster that was not big enough to fit my phone. And as the phones got bigger, there weren't many options. So I just looked to see what was out there, and there really were no options for a thigh holster to carry, the much larger devices. So I kind of ran with it. I originally went to my mom first and asked if she could teach me how to sew. I sewed my very first one and decided to have them manufactured instead in like a flexible neoprene material so I can do a lot of fun colors and themes. And I kind of just ran with it, and it went from there. And I learned that a lot of other people had the same issue that I did, that they had nowhere to keep their phone safely. So
Great. So it was more so an invention out of necessity for yourself, but then you found that there was actually a market for this as well.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't realize until, I launched it on my website and on Facebook that a lot of people were like, I've learned all the places now. The riders were keeping their phones. They were sitting on them. They were throwing them in their boots. Just places,
And you've actually shared with me that you have some real life stories of people who were saved by the horse holster. Can you talk about that?
I do. Yeah. I actually have one of the stories is shared on my website, so you can go on and see it. But this customer was kind enough to handwrite a letter to me, which is just rare nowadays. So I appreciated so much that she did that. But she wrote in her story and described that she's an endurance rider, and endurance riders ride for a long period of time. And she was by herself. Her horse spooked, and when he reared up, it knocked her out. So she got knocked off the horse. Wow. Her horse ran, and not all horses will, unfortunately, some of them will leave. Sure. And so he ran away, and she woke up with a mouthful of blood. And she said that there was a storm rolling in. So she just thanked me, for the product. And she said if it wasn't for the horse holster and it being attached to her, that she wouldn't have access to her cell phone to call for help.
Wow. So you created a safety product.
I did.
didn't think that you were doing that.
Yeah, I had no idea. And then I had another customer soon after send me a message and share that she also got knocked off, and she needed, I believe it was 15 stitches in her head.
Wow.
And she said, the fact that I was able to call for help and know that somebody was coming, I was able to kind of control the bleeding and stay where I was, and they came and helped me.
So what's been your biggest challenge being in business and inventing your product?
The biggest challenge, as anybody that has a business in general, especially one that is worldwide and has a presence online, is having not so nice comments and feedback that are expressed on your pages online. So and we all know that, in any of the world of business or, celebrities or anything like that, that people will generally tend to put something negative online before they put something positive. So that has been the hardest part. I would see something negative and it would literally destroy my entire day.
Sure.
And now I've just learned to laugh about it and just understand that there definitely is a need for the product, and the customers that do appreciate it and take the time to write the positive things about it, put that on there. So you can look at the visitor posts on my Facebook and you can see all of the positive things that come from the product. So it just makes me not focus so much on anything negative that
And so your product has really been driven by social media.
Yes.
Talk to me about how you've done that. How have you managed that? What has been the challenges in that as well?
Facebook was where I started. I designed my first website myself, and then the very first thing I did on December 15th, 2015 was launched a Facebook post. And then I do all of my advertising through Facebook. I have a wonderful company that helps do all of the promoting to reach more people, because a lot of us are in front of our screens, and that's where I reach the most people. Through that, I have picked up over 100 dealers that now have the product. So I've got over 100 stores in the United States, and I have some wonderful dealers in Australia and Canada, Puerto Rico, and we're working on other countries to kind of get the product out there. But a lot of them see the product on social media and then ask questions about it. So it's huge.
No, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So this is a business show, so I'm going to throw a couple of business things at you real quick. So
Okay.
What is your biggest business challenge? You talked about customers, trying to understand the customers, but what's been the biggest business challenge? Has it been trying to keep track of all your income and expenses? What has it been?
Yes, I'm very fortunate to have Ralph for my accounting. So as the business grows, I'm not a numbers person. So you have been a huge help for me keeping track of all of the numbers side of the business. I would say even just being like having a product out there. There's billions of products out on the market. So I'm of course not the first and only one to have a product like this to horseback riders. So there are others out there. There's competition. I've heard, horrible things from other companies, downing my product. I don't do that. I understand that there's other products and,
Sure.
We might be competing, but there might be somebody that likes another one over mine and mine over another. And that's just how it goes.
And you and I have talked a little bit about it, and you're looking to potentially expand into other areas with your horse holster and look at other options.
Yes. Yep. So I've learned even after that first year, even after the first 6 months, what people were doing with the product. So a lot of people like to do their barn chores and they go and ride bikes and motorcycles and ATVs. And so my goal is to just keep expanding outside of the horse world, because the placement of the product is really convenient. So there's a lot of other things you can be doing and have your cell phone, there
and that makes
if you need it.
sense. Yeah. And so let's talk a little bit about how someone would get a hold of your product.
My website is thehorseholster.com. So you can purchase directly through the website. If you would rather go into one of our dealers and try it on, a lot of people like to try it on in person, feel the material, then there's a dealer list on the website as well. And there's a dealer locator. So you can just put in your zip code and it'll tell you which dealers are closest to you.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Brooke. I really do appreciate your time today. And I will, point all of my listeners to this is really a homegrown business that is all about, somebody who took the entrepreneurial risk and just making it work. So thanks again for being on the show. And again, it's thehorseholster.com.
That's it.
Where they can find your product. Thanks a lot, Brooke.
Thank you. Thanks, Ralph. Thanks, everybody.
You've been listening to Ask Ralph, brought to you by Saggio Accounting Plus. Please subscribe to and rate our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a rating and review. Our podcast is produced by Carolyn Peters. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at Ask Ralph Media. You can also hear me each week on 1450 WILM and on 1410 WDOV in Delaware and on the iHeartRadio app. Submit your questions or ideas for future shows by sending an email to AskRalph@AskRalph.com.
The information contained in this episode of Ask Ralph is based on data available as of the date of its release. Saggio Accounting Plus and Ask Ralph Media Inc. is under no obligation to update this content if changes occur. Applying this information to your specific situation requires careful consideration of all facts and circumstances, and any information provided is not to be considered as financial, tax, or legal advice. Please consult your tax advisor or attorney before acting on any material covered.